All right, we're talking about the Samsung Galaxy Note.
Note.
It is quite a large little device. Let's talk about it. So it's a large little device.
So I think they're calling it a phablet.
Okay, that
Am I
right.
right?
Phablet.
I might have gotten the wording correctly, but they're calling it pretty much a combination phone tablet. So I think they're calling it a phablet. I could be wrong.
Or it could be a
Uh,
tart. It's a tablet smartphone.
a
A
tart. I
tart
like that.
phone.
That sounds kind of weird, but regardless, phablet doesn't sound any better.
We set trends.
That's the real name.
That's right.
But, dude, this thing's massive.
It's
Listen,
it's big.
when I first went out, thank you very much to both Samsung and AT&T for inviting Zev and I to the event. It's very nice of you guys.
Yeah.
And when I first got there, I walked in and I saw them holding this thing in their hand, and I was like, "Oh, it's really cool. It's a small tablet. It's really nice." Not knowing that it was a note they were holding in their hands,
Right.
and wow, that's all I could say. I said, "Wow, that's a phone," and the guy was like from Samsung. He was like, "Yeah, it's the new Note, or it's the Note."
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "My God!" My first reaction was that no one's ever gonna actually use this thing. And after using it for a little while, I told myself, "Self, you were wrong," because people will actually use this. I think a small subset of the consumer base will actually use this. So let's just run through real quick some of the stats here.
Mm-hmm.
So the carrier is AT&T. I believe it's an exclusive through AT&T. It is a massive 5.3-inch Super AMOLED display.
HD Super
Uh,
AMOLED. Yeah.
HD, that's right.
That's
So Samsung's very famous for their Super AMOLED displays, and now this one's
that's
HD.
right.
So without a contract, it is 649. With a contract, 2-year contract, it is 300 bucks. It is running Android 2.3 with an OTA of 4.0 when it comes available. Again, it's a 5.3-inch screen. It's running TouchWiz 4.0. It is a 1.4 dual core Cortex A9, which is super fast. Has 1 gig of RAM. This bad girl is 4G. It is LTE, and it has an 8 megapixel camera.
That's right.
So, Zev, you were with this thing for a little while. What do you think about it?
So I really like. First of all, so this is my deal. Well, let's go through some of the pros, right? So it's got very good quality. Of course, that LTE is super fast on AT&T's network. It's a massive screen, which of course is awesome for watching Netflix and browsing the web and doing social
Playing
media.
games, whatever.
It has the S Pen application built into its UI, and it's got some accessories. The holder kit, the little pen that you put
Yeah.
the
I
S
think
Pen
that
in.
was the one that was most unique to this particular
Hmm.
device. Everything else was like they had a a charging station. It had like the holder for the car and a few other things. But I thought the pen was kind of cool.
Right. So the cons on it really are that the 5.3 screen is just too massive for some people. Some people are smaller, right? So their hand, it just looks ridiculous on some people's hands. It's totally redonkulous. They're holding it like that.
Yeah.
Um, and the S Pen only works in a couple of apps, a few apps now. There are more that will be coming out because they've released that SDK, and the flip cover, yeah.
Yeah, you know what? The flip cover, and they were so they showed me the flip cover, and it is this to me, it looked like this very flimsy piece of leather that just kind of like flopped over the screen
Right.
and just hung out there. Um, it provided no other functionality than that.
Right.
It just protects the screen, and I think it was someone designed it to make it look good, and I think it was just a very poor design to begin with. I would never use it.
Right.
I think it's a very very um, uh, unfriendly looking cover.
Right.
You know, and when I was there, the Samsung guy was talking about how great it is, how wonderful it is, and I was just taking in the drinking in the Kool-Aid, and then there were a few ladies there as well. And my first question to them was, well, how do you feel about this phone being a 5.3 inch? I mean, this thing is massive, and I never even thought of any of this stuff.
Hmm.
But they were saying they actually like the phone a whole lot because when they're talking, I mean, and now 1 second, it's behind me. Okay. No, it's not behind me.
Oh,
Okay, so I don't have my phone with me. But if this was the Note, I don't have it, my wife has it. If this was a Note, so they said when we do this and we're changing diapers and we're playing with our kids or we're grabbing the stuff off the floor, this is very helpful when it's like this because it's nice and big.
right,
I guess a smaller phone would not be the same thing.
right.
They also like the fact too when they had to take down quick notes.
Hmm.
They just pull out the pen and write down quick notes very quickly. So that they really like. So for them, it was more of a lifestyle choice of having a large phone that they can put on their shoulder. They can pull out the stylus. I'm sorry, the S Pen very quickly and write stuff down, and give it to their kids real quick if they're in the back of the car so they can watch Netflix instead of running on 4G. Or any of those things. I mean, even reading books, for example. One of the moms said that, listen, when I'm waiting for my son after soccer practice, I can just sit in my car and just quickly pull out the note and just read, some book on the Kindle store
Hmm.
or something like that or whatever. And so, it really took me aback because I'm always looking at stuff like this from a tech standpoint, but they didn't really care about technology that much. They cared about how do I use this on a day-to-day
Right.
basis? How do I incorporate this into my life? How does this make my life better? And I think they actually liked it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the phone. I like the size. I like 5.3 inches. Now, initially, when you first showed it to me, and I took it,
I know you're like, what the hell?
it was really. I mean, it's big. It's
Yeah,
noticeably large. You see it
big
from
phone.
across the room because
Yeah.
proportionally to your hand, you just notice how large it is. And so the deal is, and I did this on the other video. We covered how it was a kind of crossover between the tablet and the mobile market. That type of what do we name it? We called it the
The phablet,
no, the phablet, or the what,
the tart.
the tart, right, the
They
tart.
call it.
So the tart phone, right?
Right.
No, so the thing is that it has amazing capabilities, right? It's a fast phone.
Yes.
Everything about it is fast. It's great, beautiful screen. I mean, I can't say one bad thing about the phone itself. My thing is, I felt like I never ever really used the stylus. I felt like I never really needed to use the stylus because if I wanted to do anything, um, either I would the keyboard is huge. So if you have a problem with on screen keyboards, or as a lady, if you have nails and you
Mhm.
need more space for the keyboard, this is the phone for you.
Yeah.
So that was great. So I just popped it up, did the keyboard, no problem. Never felt the need to do any translating of text. But the thing is, it's since I already have an iPad, if I wanted to do any uh, layouts or drawing, I felt like I needed more space. Like, give me something the size of the tab, the 10-inch
Right.
tab, or a 7-inch, or even the iPad as well. I just felt like I needed more space to draw stuff. Even though you could reduce the size of the pen, reduce the size of the lines, I just felt like I didn't have enough space. So I really
Right.
never really used the app.
So even at 5'3", you
Yeah.
felt like you didn't have enough space?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
Because I felt like it was for me personally, since I'm currently on AT&T with the iPhone.
mhm.
I mean, I get horrific service,
Right.
both data and voice.
Hmm.
Get horrific service. So I barely use my phone. But with the Note, the day or two that I did use it, it was such a pleasure to
Yep.
use. I mean, in New York City, that 4G network is superb. I
It's
mean,
great.
I think in Brooklyn, I was getting like 10 megabits
Right.
downstream or download speeds. When we got into New York, into Manhattan, you got 21,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
insane. So when and having a nice large screen like that, as far as watching Netflix, watching videos,
Hmm.
when you're on Twitter, Facebook, reading a book, I mean, I think for me it was such a pleasure to sit there and actually just read something. And the nice thing about it too is that I purposely didn't bring in my iPad a couple
Right.
times because I want to see if I can actually just forget about my iPad for a little while and just use a note. And it was fine. I was happy with that. I really, really was. The only thing that kind of sucked about it is that the podcasts.
Right.
That's still an
That's still
issue
the
with
shortcoming with it. Yeah.
with Android. But I kind of shrug my shoulders and I listen to music and and I read a few books and I watched something on Netflix and I really enjoyed it. So I think it really comes down to lifestyle.
Right.
Is this a phone that you can actually see yourself using as a tool on a day-to-day basis? If the answer is yes, then the phone's for you.
Right.
Were a lot of people who saw me with a phone and come up to me and ask me, "What the heck is that thing?"
Right.
And I said, "It's a new Galaxy Note." And they was just, no, I wouldn't. That thing is gargantuan. I would
Really.
never use that. But you know what? That might be the case for a lot of people. But I really think that Samsung has something here, and this might be good for a subset of the consumer market. And if they can get these developers on board to build out more S Pen enabled applications, and
Right.
that's the key. If they can get them to do that, then I really think the Note is going to do extremely well.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think, though, I don't know if I've or encountered anyone that had anything negative to say about it. I think they all kind of looked at it, and it's kind of like how they get the tablets. It's just
Hmm.
kind of like oh yeah, like I need
Yeah,
something that large, and
yeah,
because it was 9 millimeters thick, just over 9 millimeters, it fit in the pocket very well. It was
it
thin,
really did.
it's light.
Yeah,
It's a great phone.
yeah,
I think in
yeah.
general, if regardless of the whole Note, since that's the name of it, right?
Hmm.
Regardless of those features, I think it's a great phone in general. It's got a
I
good
agree.
camera. It's fast. So if you just want extra size, if you want to have that ability to watch movies, I
Yeah,
say don't even worry about the stylus situation and whether you can have
yeah.
that. If it's 300
Really don't.
bucks, if it fits in your price range and you like that size, go for it. I don't think you can go wrong with it.
No. And
Yeah.
for most guys, I mean, most guys wear their pants, loose to begin
Right.
with. So just dropping it in your front pocket is just fine. Even dropping it in your back pocket is just fine too. I put it in my back pocket and inadvertently I forgot and I sat on it and it didn't break and it didn't snap in two.
Right.
And like Zev said, it's very, very light. You would think a phone that big
Hmm.
would weigh about 3 or 4 pounds. I'm kidding, obviously.
Right.
But it's extremely light phone. And the women that I spoke to said they just take it and throw it right in their bag
It's good
like every other
stuff.
phone they carry. They throw it right in their bag and they're very fine with that. So I think again, I think it's going to be a phone that fits a specific type of consumer.
Hmm.
And not every consumer is going to want to walk around with this large phone,
Right.
but there are those consumers like you and I and some of the women that I spoke to at the event from Samsung that actually enjoy it.
Right.
For them it's fun because they don't have to carry around an extra thing, whether it be, they don't have to carry the phone and the tablet. They can
Right.
just carry this thing called, whatever they call it, a phablet or whatever,
Oh,
whatever it is being
and the
called.
other thing is that hopefully, when that over-the-air update comes, that they will enable uh, um, the
NFC.
NFC built in. It's
Yeah.
already there, so you
Yeah, I
can.
don't see that happening until ISIS actually comes out with
True.
with a way to monetize this NFC thing here.
Yeah, but it's
So, but
capable,
it's there, man. The radio's there,
right?
and Zev and I are both big fans of NFC. So let's hope that one day AT&T and company get their stuff together.
All right,
So,
so
so with that said, I think Zev and I give it a extremely strong four.
that's right.
It's a good phone, and again, if you're looking for a device that can fit the bill of a product that you want, that sits between a smartphone and a tablet, then this is definitely it.
Absolutely, tart or phablet, whatever, it
Whatever
works.
you want to call it. We call it.
All right,
Samsung calls it a Note, and Zev and I just call it the thing. I don't know.
all right.
All right, guys. Thank you so
Speak
much,
to you
man.
later.
All right.
As always, thanks for watching. Only cool people press subscribe. Right here. That right there. All right, I am doing.
Is that a Miller Lite? Is that a Miller Lite?
Nope.
Oh.
All right, so I'm doing a Bud Light Lime. I'm going hipster tonight.
You can't be kidding me, right?
I'm going hipster tonight.
Geez, that's horrible, dude. That's like
It's
the worst beer on the planet.
but see, it's not only Bud Light; it's Bud Light
Yeah.
Lime. Now, that's like the ultimate in hipster drinkage. But it's kind of
Lime
like,
crap in
yeah,
there.
I had to get it out of the fridge. It was either that or like try to take paint off of something with it. So I guess I'm just gonna drink it.
I would have used it as like like varnish or something.
It's no dog's fish head, no
Oh God,
dogfish head, but it is somewhat
nothing,
alcoholic.
nothing is you know Dogfish Head came out with champagne, I think it was, right?
So they're starting to do the spirit thing, which I'm really, really excited about.
And but it's not really like a champagne though, is it? Or like a spirits, right?
Right.
It's like it's spirits with no, it's beer with a spirits twist, right?
They're start. Well, I believe so. I believe
Yeah,
it's
that's
kind
what.
of like an integrated thing. They-
Yeah, 'cause I didn't think it was just it was just spirits. I could have sworn he was alluding to the fact that there is a beer base
right.
to any of their because he says they experiment all the time.
All the
They're
time.
constantly experimenting.
That's their thing. They are on the edge. They are on the cutting edge of any of these breweries. I mean, there are all these little small microbreweries, and there are larger, of course, larger brew houses. But Dogfish Head is always on the bleeding edge of understanding beer and now
Yes.
spirits.
And,
It's a
and
great
we
company.
and if Dogfish just wants to sponsor a show, go right ahead. We accept beer as
My
payment.
my dad's moving in right around the corner.
There you go.
Former HR director, if you're still looking.